Born with a pair of hooked jade Rinnegan. Chapter 51. Kakashi was about to rush out when he felt a hand on his shoulder. Chakra stops functioning and cannot move his body. Turning around with difficulty and looking at Gaiwu, his eyes were full of pleading. Can't let Danzo get Shisui's eyes. If he gets his way, Uchiha will be destroyed and everyone will die. Konoha will be bloodied by Danzo. Never let Danzo get Shisui's eyes. Gaiwu said seriously. Don't move. We're just here to watch the show. Kakashi said anxiously. No. How do you let me watch the show in this situation? Uchiha is going to be ruined by Danzo, I can't watch this happen. Feeling that Kakashi's struggle is getting stronger and stronger, Gaiwu has no choice but to increase his pupil power to suppress it. Jugoyu Rinnegan is just a pupil power suppression, without any attack means, it can hold Kakashi in place and cannot move. Certainly, the premise of all this is to have enough chakra. Without chakra, no matter how powerful the pupil technique is, it will not be able to exert its due power. These days chakra refining is much faster than before, and the amount of chakra now has almost caught up with Kakashi. Danzo's hand froze suddenly when it caught Shisui's eyes. The curse mark on Shisui receded little by little. The three teammates behind him lost consciousness and fell to the ground at the same time. Shisui stared at Danzo. Master Danzo. You forgot a very important thing. Don't make eye contact with the Uchiha clan at any time. They and you have all looked into my eyes. At this time, his eyes are already in Mangekyo state. The right hand slowly grabbed the ribs on the shoulder. Although he really wants a peaceful coexistence between Konoha and Uchiha, it doesn't matter if he sacrifices himself. But that premise cannot be based on Danzo getting his own eyes to kill the Uchiha clan. Even if Uchiha is at fault, he should be punished fairly, not just wiped out like this by Danzo. Especially, he is also preparing to use his power to obliterate the Uchiha clan. This is absolutely not allowed. The ribs are badly slashed. Severed Danzo's hamstrings, making him immobile. When such an injury returns to Konoha, there will naturally be medical ninjas who can heal him. Didn't kill Danzo. Shisui stared at Danzo and said, even if you sneak attack first, you are still an important person to Konoha. I can't kill you. Kill you. Uchiha is doomed. Master Danzo, I hope you realize the power of Uchiha, it is definitely not something that people like you can get your hands on. It's not something you can kill at will with a single sentence. After finishing speaking, he put away his ribs and turned around to leave. However, as soon as he turned around, he felt a heavy blow to his body, and the next moment a person moved in front of him. A bloody hand waved past. There was severe pain in the right eye. Shisui hastily stepped back. Susanoo. With a violent roar, the green chakra surrounded the whole body, and soon formed a half-length Susanoo. With such absolute defense, Danzo's attack becomes meaningless. Danzo took out the potion jar that had been prepared in advance, and put the eye held by his right hand into the potion pot. Looking at Shisui with a contemptuous smile, he said coldly. As expected of Shisui, losing a Sharingan can still open Susanoo. I know the power of the Uchiha clan better than you. One-eyed Susan, you are the first person in Uchiha ever. Hi. Shisui suppressed the sharp pain in his eyes and panted wildly. Mangekyo Sharingan stared at Danzo. I checked, you are obviously not a clone. Why are you still moving? Danzo sneered at Shisui's question, this is the power of Uchiha. Facing a dying person, there is no need to tell about Izanagi. Kill him. Be sure to get his other eye. Shisui lost an eye, and the illusion that had been cast on his teammate had been disabled. And Danzo is not alone. He attaches great importance to Shisui, and the root organization ninja brought half of them over. Soon, Shisui was surrounded by hundreds of ninjas. There is no way of escape in the sky and on the ground. Shisui took a deep breath, endured the severe pain, and activated the power of Susanoo. The yin-yang fish pattern on Susanoo's chest slowly opened, and countless green arrows shot out from it. A fan-shaped area in front of Shisui. The sky and the earth are all covered by green arrows. Neither rocks nor trees can escape the sweep of the green arrows. Just one move. The root ninja standing in front of Shisui is all knocked to the ground by him. Even at this point, Shisui didn't kill them. The arrows only hit some non-lethal places, but they could make them lose their ability to fight. With the Mangekyo Sharingan, it's not easy to do this kind of thing. Danzo was also shot by an arrow. The funny thing is, at this point, Shisui didn't even kill Danzo. Boom boom boom. A series of explosions exploded behind Shisui. Hundreds of detonating symbols exploded one after another. Even Shisui felt uncomfortable with such an attack. After all, it is a one-eyed Sasuke, which consumes more than 5 times the usual pupil power and chakra. Everyone, don't be afraid. He is one-eyed Sasuke and won't last long. We have been attacking with detonators, and if we don't give him time to rest, his Susan will soon be unable to hold on. A root ninja yelled. Before coming, Danzo specifically asked everyone to prepare more detonating symbols. At first I didn't understand what was going on. Only now do I know. Here's what the detonator is for. Shisui doesn't know Danzo's information, but Danzo knows him well. Danzo knows Shisui's way, from his personality to his fighting abilities, and how he fights. Otherwise, it would be impossible to attack him. It is even more impossible to conceive a conspiracy that can kill a strong Mangekyo with 2 eyes in such a short period of time. The intense consumption made Shisui's vision gradually blurred. Right in front of him, Danzo, who had been shot through the abdomen by an arrow, stood up intact again. Shisui was panting wildly. The loss of his right eye had affected him too much. I can't fight anymore. Must get out of here. Turn around and shoot a wave of green arrows towards the ninja behind. However, this wave of green arrows is far less than the first shot. Root ninjas didn't all shoot, either. Susanoo couldn't hold on any longer. Green chakra disappears quickly. Kill him, Danzo shouted coldly. At this time, Shisui has already run out of energy, and only killing him at this time is the best opportunity. Once he was given time to recuperate, he didn't know when his distinguished heavenly gods would fall on him. Standing in place, Shisui divided 1 into 2, 2 into 4, 4 into 8, and 8 into 16. Soon, the scene is full of Shisui. Shisui, his unique body flicker technique. Danzo gritted his teeth secretly. It's useless. If he even uses this technique, no one can catch up to him. Everything left on the scene may be a phantom, or it may be an entity. Shisui all over the mountains and plains moved quickly in one direction, and soon disappeared without leaving a trace. Let him escape. Danzo looked up to the sky and sighed softly. Shisui's body flicker technique is not a simple body flicker technique, but a body flicker technique used in conjunction with Sharingan. No one can see through his body. Whether it is used to kill the enemy or to escape, it is the best ninjutsu. Gaiwu's right hand on the top of the mountain in the distance is a little bit, and a dark square appears there, expanding in all directions. Grabbed Kakashi with his left hand and dragged him into Wonkwan Hirazaka. When it reappeared, it was already in its own small shop. Feeling the disappearance of the pupil power pressing on his body, Kakashi jumped up and stared at Gaiwu. Why don't you let me make a move? Gaiwu didn't back down. Can you change anything with your shot? Or do you want to put yourself in danger and force me to take action? I can tell you very bluntly, I will never make a move. Even if you die at the hands of Danzo, I won't do anything. I never had any intention of Konoha's struggle. I can't support your death behavior. Kakashi fell to the ground. His face was full of pain. I've never felt so powerless before. Knowing that Danzo getting Shisui's eyes would bring disaster to Konoha. I can't stop myself. Those who are capable of stopping Konoha have no intention of fighting, he just wants to live a quiet life. Then why did you take me to see this? Kakashi growled. Gaiwu stared at him. I told you from the beginning, take you to see the dark side of Konoha. Now, seeing this happen with your own eyes, what do you think? Kakashi couldn't say a word. Konoha's darkness. Never thought Konoha had such a dark side. As a high-ranking Konoha, Danzo did such a thing to his subordinates. He only took away Shisui's eyes for his own selfish desire, and even wanted to obliterate the Uchiha clan. How can he, a well-behaved child who has been educated by Konoha since childhood, accept such darkness? Gaiwu didn't care about Kakashi's blow at all. Konoha's darkness is far more than that, and I will show you more in the future. Kakashi, who couldn't accept what he saw with his own eyes, tears rolled down from the corner of his eyes, looked at Gaiwu and shouted loudly. No, I don't want to witness the darkness you mentioned. Can I be an ordinary elite Jonin? Why do I have to witness these cruel things? Why do you want to destroy Konoha's position in my heart? What is your purpose in doing these things? Gaiwu extended a finger to Kakashi's heart. I need a brother who is not bound by any thoughts. As my brother, you can only be a real Kakashi, not a Kakashi restrained in any way. Whether it's the will of fire or the order of the high-level Konoha, you can only be Kakashi. Not bound by any thoughts. Think about whether you have violated the will of that thought before doing something. Kakashi was stunned, staring blankly at Gaiwu. He, who has always been poisoned by the will of fire, couldn't accept Gaiwu's words for a while. Unable to accept it, Kakashi chose to escape. He rushed out of the small shop and ran away without looking back. Oh, Gaiwu sighed softly. Kakashi followed Konoha's rules since he was a child, and the will of fire penetrated deep into his heart. The education I have received for more than 10 years, how can I completely change it in just over a month? This is all I can do. Can I accept Konoha's darkness? Whether he can become the Kakashi he wants depends entirely on his own will. The door of the store opened, and an unexpected person appeared at the door. Come in and sit, Gaiwu greeted softly. Oh, Itachi walked into the shop in a daze. It's not been a day or two since I've known Gaiwu, and Itachi is very clear about his relationship with Kakashi. Kakashi's appearance just now was obviously greatly stimulated. Because of what? Suppressing the doubts in his heart, Itachi sat down in front of the bar. Gaiwu sat next to him, frowning and thinking about something, and there was no more to say when he called himself in. After thinking for a while, Gaiwu turned to look at Itachi. Itachi, if you were to witness the darkness of Konoha, what choice would you make? Direct question. Don't use that kind of silent communication. Itachi thought carefully for a while, then said softly, I will follow my own will and choose my own path. Gaiwu smiled slightly. As expected of a super genius of the Uchiha clan, his comprehension ability is very good. But it doesn't mean he is smarter than Kakashi. Just because you are in a different environment, you face different things, and you make different choices. The conflict between Uchiha and Konoha's top management has been going on for a long time. The battle between Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama sowed the seeds of what followed. Itachi has been a genius with a different way of thinking from ordinary people since he was a child. Look at problems a few steps ahead of ordinary people. Analyze contradictions. Resolve contradictions. Deal with conflicts. Step by step. He is already a firm Uchiha. Gaiwu was very satisfied with this situation and said softly, there is no special snack for you today, you will encounter something in these 2 days, come to me after you make a choice. Itachi was even more confused. I came to your snack bar specially to get your advice. You just sent me away with just one sentence. Itachi was about to ask a question when he suddenly remembered Gaiwu's words. Something will happen in these 2 days. What's the matter? Is Kakashi's situation related to that incident? Faintly, a bad premonition was born in Itachi's heart. He left his seat and bowed respectfully to Gaiwu, thank you very much. Every time he thanked, Itachi used the utmost sincerity. If it wasn't for Gaiwu, I wouldn't be able to see the future clearly, and I wouldn't know where the future lies. It was through the silent communication with him that I understood the direction of the future. But Itachi had no idea how to go this way. Knowing that Gaiwu would not say anything more, Itachi left the shop. Gaiwu closed the door and started his daily practice. Chakra is more than before but never enough. One Koizumi Birisaka consumes 1/3 of chakra. It's only been open for a while. Back at the Uchiha station, Itachi sensed that something was wrong with today's atmosphere. The clan seems to be getting more tense. Hey, is it true that Shisui disappeared? There will be no mistakes. The information I collected will definitely not be wrong. Shisui doesn't know why it disappeared. Without him, our Uchiha's strength will be weakened a lot. What should we do? That's right, Shisui's strength has been recognized by the whole world, but he suddenly disappeared. I really don't understand what happened. However, you don't have to worry, it is rumored that he will protect Konoha in his own way, which means that he is still alive, but he is just tired of the task. What rumors? It is obviously a letter left by him, and someone found it in his home. Yes, I saw that letter too. Shisui is tired of the never-ending task and hides to protect Konoha. Quote. Hearing what these people were talking about, Itachi's heart skipped a beat. A bad premonition was born in my heart. Very, very uncomfortable. Suddenly, Itachi thought of what Gaiwu said to him just now. Was he referring to the Shisui thing? I can't take care of that much anymore. Itachi turned and left the Uchiha station. If Shisui is still alive, there must be a place for him. That was the secret of himself and him, and no one knew about it. When you get there, ask questions face to face. After 10 minutes of driving at full speed, when we arrived at the destination, we saw Shisui fighting on the edge of the cliff. You're finally here. Shisui turned to look at Itachi. Seeing his situation, Itachi's pupils suddenly shrank. His right eye is missing. Although influenced by Gaiwu these days, negates Shisui's will. They are still friends for many years. He is also the only recognized brother. When he encountered such a thing, Itachi's anger soared. Shisui, what happened? Shisui shook his head, not intending to tell Itachi that Danzo robbed his eye. Although Itachi has always been a very calm person. But he is still only a teenager after all, so it is inevitable that he will be impulsive sometimes. If he goes to Danzo to avenge himself, his only hope is gone. Shisui smiled and said, I know. You have been influenced by others recently, and your thoughts have undergone some changes that I don't know about. But I believe your original intention will not change. It is for Konoha and Uchiha to live in peace. Maybe the method you use in the future will be different from mine. But, please protect Konoha, protect Uchiha. Talking. Shisui raised his left hand and slowly reached his eyes. Wait a minute, Itachi yelled anxiously. However, Shisui never changes his mind just because of a few words from others. The only remaining left eye was gouged out by himself. Enduring the pain, he grabbed the last eye and reached out to Itachi. The abilities of the distinguished heavenly gods can only be stopped by the distinguished heavenly gods. I can no longer show up, as long as I show up. This eye is entrusted to you. Once you find someone showing signs of being in the distinguished heavenly gods, please stop him. Knowing that he couldn't persuade Shisui, Itachi slowly walked up to him and took the eye he handed over. Although he already guessed what Shisui would do, Itachi asked softly, you yourself. Shisui smiled and said, I deliberately spread the news of my retirement, just to make some people feel jealous and dare not act recklessly. Buy more time for your growth. When you have enough strength, what kind of path you want to take is up to your own heart to decide. Shisui. Tears rolled down his eyes, and sadness filled his heart. Itachi stared at Shisui in a daze. Shisui no longer had the painful look on his face, and said with a smile. You are my best friend. As long as they don't make sure that I am really dead, they dare not do anything to you. I can't show up again, and I can't let them find any clues about me. Once they discover my existence, they will attack you, Uchiha. When the time comes, Konoha will bleed like a river. I don't want to see that happen. Itachi, farewell. After the words fell, Shisui jumped off the cliff. Itachi felt the gradually cooling eyeball in his palm. Who is it? Who actually attacked Shisui? And who pushed Shisui to this point? I grew up with myself, teaching myself the use of Sharingan and the practice of ninjutsu. To himself, Shisui is both a friend and a teacher. Witnessed his death with his own eyes, and learned that everything about him came from Konoha's conspiracy. Strong hatred filled my heart. The brain secretes abnormal chakra. Sharingan gradually changes under such chakra. Mangekyo Sharingan. Looking at the rushing water of the Nanga River, no one knows where Shisui's body will be washed. He just disappeared, never to be seen again. However, even in death, he must protect himself, protect Konoha, protect Uchiha. Although his heart has betrayed Uchiha, his will to protect will always be there. Itachi stared blankly at the river, and said inwardly, Shisui, I will inherit your will. Protect Uchiha in my own way. There is no doubt that Shisui died at the hands of someone in Konoha. Already wary of Konoha, coupled with Shisui's incident, Itachi has completely given up on Konoha. This revenge cannot be avenged. It is not known who killed Shisui. We can only investigate secretly to determine who killed Shisui, and then find a way to kill him to avenge Shisui. Such Konoha. There is no place for Uchiha. Great power is envied by others, and it will always be remembered by others. Back to Konoha, Itachi found Gaiwu immediately. However, at this time Gaiwu has gone home. After finishing a day's business and witnessing the darkness of Konoha, Gaiwu returned home as if nothing had happened. Minato stayed with Kushina at home as usual. Anyway, he is just a nominal Hokage now, and Sarutobi Hiruzen is tossing about all the big and small things in the village. He now goes to the Hokage building to complete the sign in every day to prove that he is still in the village. The rest of the time is very idle. Even more idle than before. Hey, why didn't Kakashi come back with you? Kushina asked with some doubts. Gaiwu shrugged his shoulders and said softly, probably. I might not be back tonight. At this time, Kakashi is either at the grave of Nohara Rin and Obito, or at the grave of White Fang. He had nowhere else to go. What he needed most at this time was silence. Apart from these three places, Gaiwu didn't think he could go anywhere else. I didn't bother to talk to him, let him figure it out for himself. Something bad happened, Minato asked with some doubts. Gaiwu didn't say anything, he would know right away. Not long after, an Anbu ninja knocked on the door. Master 4th Generation, an important event has happened in the village. Sir 3rd Generation invites you to go over. Okay, I'll follow you right away. Minato went into the room and put on the Hokage cloak. He glanced at Gaiwu who was cooking in the kitchen. He must know what happened, and Kakashi must know. Just because there was a conflict between the two because of something, Kakashi didn't come back with Gaiwu. Minato, be careful, Kushina said nervously. The closer to the day when Naruto was born, the more reluctant she was to leave Minato. This time, he didn't know what the task was, let alone how long it would take him to come back. In case you missed the day Naruto was born. In case Naruto wasn't around when he was born. The emotions of pregnant women are very easily affected by external factors. Especially Minato often performs some dangerous missions. These days, I am used to having Minato by my side, and his sudden departure makes it difficult for Kushina to stabilize his mood. This time is also the best time for Ninetales to hit the seal. Bang! Kushina's heart skipped a beat as the Ninetales chakra leaked, causing her to squat down in agony. Minato, who had just walked out, immediately sensed the situation at home. About to launch Flying Thunder God to go home, but felt the leaked Ninetales chakra disappear. What's the situation? No matter how doubtful he was, his wife was the most important thing, so he immediately activated Flying Thunder God and returned to Kushina. Seeing her sitting back on the sofa with Gaiwu's support, she quickly supported Kushina. Kushina. Just now. Kushina's expression has recovered, but she is in a daze. Just now I felt uncomfortable all over. I don't know what happened, but Ninetales stopped attacking the seal. The leaked Ninetales chakra is also missing. I don't know what happened, but it suddenly subsided. Kushina said with a blank face. Ninetales chakra leaked, causing confusion in her chakra system, loss of basic sentience. I have no idea what happened just now. Minato glanced at Gaiwu next to him. He was the only one in the family, and no one else appeared. Could it be him? Impossible. Although Gaiwu has the talent to cultivate chakra, he also refined some chakra. But he didn't know the sealing technique at all, nor did he learn any ninjutsu. This matter must be investigated clearly. Matters related to Ninetales are not trivial matters. Minato said softly, Kushina, I'll go to the seal and ask Ninetales what happened just now. The seal was constructed by him, and it would not be difficult to get a little chakra in and meet Ninetales. Kushina nodded, she also wondered what happened. Gaiwu in the kitchen continued to do his own thing. It's useless, even if they asked Ninetales themselves, they couldn't find out why. Just now, he just used his pupil power to suppress the Ninetales, and absorb the leaked Ninetales chakra by the way. At most, Ninetales felt that the pupil power was suppressed, and he didn't know anything else. Inside the Ninetales seal, Minato stood in front of the sealing fence. In the darkness, a fiery red fox slowly shook its tail. Ninetales are swinging in the seal. The fiery red fox lay on the ground, with a look of fear in its eyes. Minato understood the meaning in Ninetales' eyes at a glance. Ninetales, what just happened? What kind of existence would scare even Ninetales? HMPH. Ninetales snorted heavily, closed his eyes, and didn't respond to Minato at all. suppressed by that inexplicable pupil power. The fear in his heart was seen by Minato. How could the proud Ninetales be willing to speak out about their scandals? However, recalling the pupil power just now, Ninetales still felt scared. That moment, Ninetales felt a pair of mysterious eyes appeared in the sealed space. However, he was suppressed by the powerful pupil power, and no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't raise his head to see what kind of eyes they were. That feeling, that kind of pupil power is much stronger than Uchiha Madara's pupil power. It feels stronger than the pupil power of Sage of Six Paths. No, impossible. Rinnegan of Sage of Six Paths is the strongest eye. There can be no eyes stronger than Sage of Six Paths. What kind of eyes are these? Who would be the person with that kind of pupil power? Sensing that Ninetales is unwilling to take care of him, Minato exits the sealed space. How? Kushina asked hastily. Minato shook his head. Ninetales is unwilling to say. This is very helpless. The instigator of all this went back to his room to practice after finishing dinner. Those Ninetales chakra absorbed from Kushina were sealed in a certain corner of the body under the ability of 9-Go-You Rinnegan. The amount is still too small to have much effect. It just stimulates Jugoyu Rinnegan to make its pupil power more flexible, refining chakra faster. If there were more Ninetales chakra, Gaiwu felt that he would undergo a qualitative change. The pupil power has become more flexible, and Gaiwu can feel that his own unique ability will soon be awakened. Just a little more Ninetales chakra, or after a while, your own Rinnegan's unique ability will be fully awakened. The strength of the unique ability is beyond doubt. Gaiwu is looking forward to it. Sensing that Ninetales will not change for a while, Minato rushed to the meeting room in the Hokage building. After all, he is also Hokage on the bright side, and the genius of the Uchiha clan has disappeared. Such an important matter still needs to be dealt with Minato. Although he can be said to be the latest group of people in the village to know. Of course, the decision of the whole incident is still in the hands of Sarutobi Hiruzen. In the meeting room, Udatane Kaharu, Mitokado Homura, and Sarutobi Hiruzen each sat down. Mitokado Homura said in a deep voice, "It would be better if Uchiha Shisui disappeared. The strength of the Uchiha clan is weakened, and their actions have slowed down." Minato, who just took his seat, frowned. The actions of the Uchiha clan. For such an important matter, he didn't mention it to his fourth Hokage at all. Sarutobi Hiruzen said softly, "It's a pity that the child Shisui disappeared. He helped me a lot. Do your best to find him, try to find him, if he has been wronged. I will definitely find a way to help him deal with it." During this period of time, the power was suspended, and Minato had a new understanding of Sarutobi Hiruzen. You help Shisui deal with his grievances. Please. Don't put on a hypocritical face all day long. Are you tired? You just feel like you haven't fully squeezed out his value yet. Once his surplus value is squeezed out, will you care about Shisui's life and death? Minato sat aside, didn't say anything, and let the three of them talk. If you have something to do for yourself, just do it, and don't bother to take care of the others. Talk. It's a pretty good life now. Spend more time with Kushina. Naruto is due to be born soon, and having himself by Kushina's side is good for her mood and the Ninetales seal. As long as the family is happy. Let the three old guys decide about Konoha. Anyway, they won't be jumping for long, and the young people will have the final say on Konoha in the future. Now that they still want to take care of things, let them take care of it a little more. Old people take care of things, young people save trouble. It's that simple. Minato, I leave it to you to investigate Shisui's disappearance. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Minato and said softly. Choosing to abdicate was indeed the most correct choice. His reputation in Konoha is getting better and better, and the power he actually holds has not decreased at all. Even Minato, Hokage on the bright side, basically doesn't care about things, and he won't go against his own wishes. Why not do such abdication? Minato knew that his participation in this meeting was over. Stand up and whisper. Then, if there is nothing else, I will leave first. Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded. Minato walked out of the conference room slowly. As he walked, his brows furrowed. With a bit of a wry smile, he said, as Hokage, I realize that I don't have anyone I can use. The old department of Sarutobi Hiruzen, to transfer them requires the permission of Sarutobi Hiruzen. While others, it seems that Konoha is the only one who can obey his orders unconditionally. There were 3 before, and 2 died during World War III. Now there is only one Kakashi left. And Gaiwu will not reject himself either. But the problem is that he is just an ordinary person, and there is no point in mobilizing him. Kakashi. Minato sighed softly. Okay. In fact, Shisui's matter is not particularly important, otherwise 3rd generation would not have entrusted this task to me. Unable to find anyone to carry out the mission, Minato decided to treat him with salty fish. Anyway, important things will not be handled by yourself. Only those tasks that are destined to offend people and have no good results will be given to Sarutobi Hiruzen. Investigating the Shisui incident would certainly be inseparable from the Uchiha clan. How could Minato not know about the conflict between Uchiha and Konoha's top management? Obito, as his subordinate, is also a member of the Uchiha tribe. He died in the Third War, and the Uchiha clan didn't think of him very well. The legendary Yellow Flash, a Flying Thunder God technique, can reach any place that has a Flying Thunder God technique. Can't save a Uchiha if he wants to. Minato heard this voice many times during his time as Hokage. Enter the Uchiha station to investigate Shisui's disappearance. You don't need to think about it to know that you will be treated differently by the Uchiha clan. If they have a say in Konoha's high-level decisions, whether they can sit in Hokage's position is still unknown. Then salted fish. It's more important to go home and spend time with your wife. After sorting out the relationship between the incidents, Minato didn't take this matter to heart. Only, when saying this sentence, the bitterness is very heavy. Being a Hokage but not having the rights that a Hokage should have, no matter how I think about this kind of thing, I feel uncomfortable. Back home, both Kushina and Gaiwu had rested. Minato didn't wake them up. At this time, root base. Danzo's brow furrowed into a ball. Shisui, you're still going to give me one at this time. Your distinguished heavenly gods are hiding in the dark, how can my distinguished heavenly gods be used? I will definitely find you and tear you into pieces. The power of the same technique and the same eyes varies from person to person. Danzo knows it. The distinguished heavenly gods that he used would never escape Shisui's eyes. The name disappeared, but he actually didn't know which ghostly place he was hiding in, and he put even more pressure on himself. Danzo gritted his teeth and said, the Uchiha clan, all of them should die. Early the next morning, Gaiwu saw Minato in the kitchen and did not go to the Hokage building to sign. Puzzled and asked, Minato-san, don't you need to go to the Hokage building today? There is a task in hand. Before the task is completed, there is no need to go to the Hokage building. Minato smiled. Task? What tasks need Minato, the 4th Hokage, to perform in person? Suddenly, Gaiwu thought of something. Let 4th Hokage perform the task himself. I am afraid it is a thankless task. At this stage, apart from that incident, Konoha has no particularly important tasks. Interesting. It seems that I can help a little on this matter. As for the final result, Gaiwu didn't think too much about it. Just be a silent middleman, and they will toss about other things by themselves. I bought 2 bouquets of flowers at the flower spot on the street. That guy Kakashi didn't come back all night, and stayed in the cemetery for 1 night. Didn't that guy feel panicked? After a short walk, we soon arrived at Konoha Cemetery. Really, there was only one person in the entire cemetery. Walking to his side, looking at the tombstone on the ground. Uchiha Obito. Putting flowers on his grave, Kakashi sensed Gaiwu's arrival early. Stuck all night, he took a deep breath. I know what you did was right, but after thinking about the words all night, I couldn't speak anymore. Those things were too heavy for Kakashi to take. Gaiwu patted Kakashi on the shoulder after a brief worship. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, just know it in your heart, don't say it, don't think about it. Live life as you want, and you won't stop just because you have one more thing in your heart, and you will stop when you see something. After speaking, he took another flower and walked to Nohara Lin's grave, and gave flowers to worship. I sincerely worship Nohara Lin. This is a poor girl. If she is not used by Uchiha Madara, she can live very well. Seeing Gaiwu earnestly paying homage to Nohara Lin, Kakashi couldn't help but see some acid in his eyes. A few months ago, a Reikiri shot through her chest is still vivid. I dare not stand in front of her grave and face that name. After the worship, Gaiwu said softly when passing Kakashi, let's go. Go to work. I'm too busy working in the store by myself. Kakashi was stunned for a moment, tears finally bursting out of his eyes uncontrollably. He will never give up on himself. No matter what time he will enlighten himself. Gaiwu, happy to be your brother. I didn't get any salary for working for you. Kakashi followed Gaiwu's pace. Gaiwu rolled his eyes at him and said angrily. The two brothers are talking about wages and no wages. In the future, if you ask for a wife or buy a house, I will pay for it. What can you do with the little money you earn from doing tasks? Without my small shop, it would be difficult for you to find a wife. Don't even think about your salary. I'll take care of your marriage in the future. Kakashi didn't know how to answer Gaiwu's words for a while. I am only 13 years old, and I am still too early to get married. Moreover, I still have the house left by White Fang, but now I live in the teacher's house. It does not mean that you are a person without a house. Talk. Elite Jonin's residences are all allocated. I don't want to live in White Fang's old house, I can still apply for a house of my own. How much money can I spend on getting married without the house? Never mind, I'm too lazy to tangle with Gaiwu. If he doesn't want to pay wages, just don't pay them. As long as he is his elder brother, there is no need to think about the rest. As usual, before the door opened, there was a long queue at the door of the shop. But there are some new faces today. Azuki Shion, Moonlight Hayate, Sarutobi Asuma, Yuhihong, Might Guy, Shiranui Genma, Azumo, and Zitetsu. Coupled with Kakashi, the younger generation is almost here. Although he knew them, he had never met them, and Gaiwu didn't say hello. Azuki Shion walked out of the queue and squatted beside Gaiwu. Is this the legendary 5-year-old little boss? As he spoke, he stretched out his hand to pinch Gaiwu's little face. Gaiwu stopped her hand with a straight face. Although you are beautiful, it doesn't mean you can touch a man casually. Also, although I am young, I can do things that many people cannot. Gaiwu's appearance made Mao Yuxian stunned, and said with a smile, this little mouth is sweet, he is indeed the legendary little boss. When you grow up, you don't know how many girls will be harmed by you. Gaiwu shrugged, isn't that obvious? I didn't see that the little calamus in the house next door has become my follower. In a few years, I can't do without myself. Like you ninjas, that's just a matter of pointing fingers. Being handsome and capable is just worrying. With the opening scene of Azuki Shion, Gaiwu felt that he was in a good mood today and could make more snacks. Grab the appetites of young people like Konoha. Open the store door and go straight to the kitchen at the back. A group of young people gathered around Kakashi, asking him about working as a waiter in the store. Kakashi, without you, the rival in my life, my training is meaningless. Guy punched Kakashi in the chest and said with a smile. Kakashi is happy to be able to get over Obito and Rin's death. As for what he wants to do now and what he lives for, that doesn't matter. As a best friend, as long as he is happy. So far, Kakashi is still living happily. Be a waiter for Gaiwu every day, do what he wants to do, no one can force him. That's fine, I'm only temporary. Once I have a task, I still have to run around for it. Kakashi said softly. For now, he's enjoying life like this. Although he has witnessed Konoha's darkness, it doesn't mean he will leave Konoha. Here are the most important partners and everyone in the family. As an elite Jonin protecting Konoha, protecting those who are most important to him is his top priority. Although those who are most important to you are more capable than you. A group of young people were talking and laughing outside, while Gaiwu was tossing around in the kitchen by himself. As long as you don't use chakra, just open the Jugoyu Rinnegan without being seen directly. No one will discover this secret. Jugoyu Rinnegan is easy to use, and the quality of the ingredients can be seen at a glance. The contamination of the seasoning can be seen clearly with these eyes. Coupled with good cooking skills, the food cooked is naturally a delicacy that others will not be able to learn in 10 lifetimes. Snacks are served outside. When the time is almost up, the diners leave automatically. Gaiwu has been operating until this time every day, and it has become a habit. People who come here to eat don't mind either. After all, He is only a 5-year-old child, and no one can force him to do anything. Most of the people left, leaving only a group of young people in the shop. Sarutobi Asuma looked at Kakashi and said, Kakashi, our younger generation hasn't been together since the war started. The war is finally over, we should get together, what do you think? Kakashi froze for a moment, then glanced at Gaiwu who came out of the kitchen. Gaiwu said with displeasure on his face, what are you looking at me for? I'm not your boss, what do you want to do, can I stop you? Guy smiled and said, Boss Gaiwu. Actually, what we mean is can we invite you? Kakashi said with a little embarrassment, it's a party. Naturally, we must do something to eat. As far as our generation is concerned, there are not many craftsmen who are particularly good. Gaiwu shook his head unceremoniously, no. You are all ninjas, and I'm just an ordinary person. I can't understand your chat at all. Kakashi looked at the crowd and shrugged. Everyone is also helpless. There is a generation gap between ninjas and ordinary people. Gaiwu is resolutely unwilling to go, and everyone has no choice. Now Gaiwu is invited as an equal. When it comes to the party, Gaiwu is the only one who can't get in the conversation, and it will seem a little repulsive to him. Sarutobi Asuma walked to Gaiwu's side and said softly, Mr. Gaiwu. I solemnly invite you to our party. We need a chef as good as you. Not only Gaiwu, but even Kakashi were not happy about what he said. Gaiwu looked at Asuma with a sneer, just treat me as a chef. Asuma took it for granted, isn't your job a chef? Of course, I also know that there is a fee to invite a chef, and you just need to ask the price. Please don't disturb our party. The money that should be given to you will not be less. Gaiwu said coldly, Kakashi. Come and tell him, what am I to you? Kakashi walked up to Gaiwu without hesitation, faced Asuma directly, and said in a deep voice. Listen up, if you only think of Gaiwu as a cook, I'll let you taste the power of Reikiri and Sharingan. Wow, everyone present was shocked by Kakashi's words, and looked at him in disbelief. Just a normal 5-year-old. Just because of Asuma's disrespectful words, Kakashi has come so far. Reikiri plus Sharingan. This is to fight Asuma desperately. As for, just an ordinary boy, at most, his culinary skills are beyond the reach of others. No matter how you think about it, Kakashi shouldn't have defended him to this point. Kakashi glanced at everyone, and said without hesitation, in my family, Gaiwu is the elder brother, and I am the younger brother. If Kakashi's previous statement was a blockbuster, this one is undoubtedly a nuclear bomb. Everyone present was stunned by his words, unable to utter a word. Kakashi, a 13-year-old elite jonin, is very rare throughout the history of Konoha. Such a powerful person is willing to admit that Gaiwu is the elder brother in his family. How come there is a feeling of the Arabian Nights? Asuma stared blankly at Kakashi. His expression was too serious, it was not at all to lower Gaiwu's status in order to raise Gaiwu's status. I won't attend today's party. Kakashi put his hands in his trouser pockets, ignoring Asuma and the others. Gaiwu Nijong, we still have things to do today. Gaiwu smiled knowingly, only he knew what Kakashi was talking about. Even Minato didn't know what Kakashi meant by that sentence. Of course, that matter is very important. Ignore the feelings of everyone in the store and drive them out of the store. Especially Asuma, who disrespected himself in order to gain a sense of existence. Gaiwu directly took out the broom and swept him out. Being treated like this by Gaiwu, Asuma wanted to get angry, but felt that Kakashi was staring at him. There is anger in my heart but I can't express it. Reikiri and Sharingan. With such a combination, Asuma felt that even if he was 10 times stronger, he would not dare to deal with it. Resisting the aggrieved heart, motioned everyone to leave. Jumping back and forth on the roof with Kakashi, they quickly locked on a few hens in the yard of a family in Konoha. Since stealing the first time, every few days, I find someone to steal a few chickens. No matter how delicious the dragon and phoenix soup is, if you eat too much, it will become tasteless. But, Gaiwu's menu is more than that. Orochimaru's ninja snakes are definitely indispensable. Those snakes have Hashirama cells, which are good for everyone's body. Especially Naruto in Kushina's belly, now is his adult time. The more Hashirama cells Kushina absorbs, the better for his future. Both snake and chicken are indispensable, and Gaiwu tosses these two main dishes in different ways every day. Everything else is side dishes. Kakashi is already familiar with things like stealing chickens, so he took Gaiwu around the yard. A few chickens were caught in his hands. After the two left, they heard voices coming from the yard. Strange, why are my chickens missing? Who stole my chickens? The roar resounded through most of the street. Kakashi, who was already used to the sound, didn't care at all. He took a circle outside the village, and walked into the gate of Konoha with Gaiwu swaggeringly carrying the processed chicken. Are you really not going to the contemporaneous party? Gaiwu looked at Kakashi and said softly. Kakashi took a deep breath and said softly, I won't go. I have experienced so many things during this period, and I already know where my future is. Furthermore, Asuma's purpose for organizing this party is not simple. Gaiwu grinned. Kakashi was really spoiled by himself. His idea is very good. Very good. It's no longer the way it used to think of everyone's best. There is a thought for Konoha's high-level executives. Is Asuma considered a high-level Konoha? Of course not. But his dad is third Hokage. The son of third Hokage organized the same year party, who would believe it if there was nothing tricky about it? Kakashi sighed softly. Although I don't know the situation of the teacher, but as a Hokage, he has nothing to do all day long. It can basically be inferred that although he is Hokage, he has no real power. What he says about Konoha doesn't count. Asuma was not very active before, but now she initiates the same party. It's almost certain, third Hokage, I want to find a chance for him to pick up the teacher's Hokage position. Ha ha, this is the darkness of Konoha. After the voice fell, he speeded up and rushed home. Witnessing Danzo taking Shisui's eyes, the bondage in Kakashi's heart is gone, but there is something darker. Looking at the high-level Konoha is no longer the simple view it used to be. On the way, a person appeared in front of the two of them, blocking their way. He wears an Anbu mask. Itachi. Kakashi had already sensed the opponent's chakra, and frowned softly. Kakashi-san. Itachi didn't take off his mask, and after the Shisui incident, he has much less freedom than before. Then he turned to look at Gaiwu. Boss Gaiwu, I don't have time to go to your store for snacks in the future, can you please send a snack to my house? He prefers the silent way of communication than speaking clearly. Because no one understands except the two of them. No problems with safety. It doesn't matter if the snacks are taken for investigation. Gaiwu smiled and said, no problem. I'll ask Kakashi to send you a snack tomorrow. Thank you very much, Itachi said and left. At this time, he needs Gaiwu's guidance very much. Shisui disappears, and Uchiha blames Konoha for his disappearance. Although without Shisui's Mangekyo, Uchiha's strength is greatly reduced, but there are always some self-righteous guys jumping out to find fault. The relationship between Konoha and Uchiha has become more and more delicate. Itachi in Anbu has less and less free time. The tasks placed on him are getting heavier every day. Whether it is Hokage, Danzo or Uchiha, they are all testing Itachi's psychological bottom line. Wondering which side he'll be on. Because he is the Uchiha genius after Shisui. If Shisui reappears, who will appear next to him? No one thinks that person is not Itachi. Orochimaru exposed base. Minato came to visit again. Let go of the perception, and easily found a ninja snake. Very skillfully grabbed this ninja snake and threw it into the prepared bag. Minato smiled and shook his head. It seems that I won't meet you today. In another base, through the connection with ninja, Minato's demeanor and words were transmitted to Orochimaru's ears verbatim. Orochimaru, who was doing the experiment, frowned and almost spat out a mouthful of old blood. Because of this, there was a little error in the movement of the hand, and the experimental specimen was broken by him. His eyes are so cold that ice can drip out. He really wanted to leave that experimental base alone. But the problem is that it is the only base that is exposed on the surface. If it is thrown away, Minato and Danzo will go to find those experimental bases he has hidden. None of them can be exposed. Even knowing that Minato has already used his base as a vegetable market. Orochimaru had no choice but to send some ninjas to Minato for dinner. As one of the legendary Sannin, when was he ever subjected to such disgrace? The hands have turned into lion majesty. Minato, you're such a bully. As long as my experiment is completed, I will definitely find a chance to fight with you. Take a deep breath and look at the specimen on the test bench. Because of the excitement just now, this specimen was damaged by him and it is no longer usable. Seeing this, Orochimaru was furious. Minato, if you weren't coming to my base every day, how could I have failed so many times? Every time it fails, it means that an experimental subject is useless. It also means that a living being was killed by Orochimaru. If you catch my snake, I will catch Konoha's child. The experiment cannot be interrupted. As soon as the voice fell, Orochimaru disappeared. Back home, Minato came back with a bag of ninja. Seeing that Minato looked a bit dull, Gaiwu said softly, "Didn't you meet Orochimaru today?" Minato smiled lightly. "I haven't met Orochimaru for a few times. I really miss meeting him in his base." PFF'd. Gaiwu couldn't help laughing. Orochimaru has been tossed hard by Minato recently. Regular visits every day are no longer purely for catching ninjas. At the very beginning, Orochimaru would also appear to have a few words with Minato. To the back can only watch Minato catch the snake in his base. And Minato went there several times, and finally he was too lazy to find an excuse. Without talking to Orochimaru, go straight into the base and look for ninjas everywhere. Every time Orochimaru is furious, but what can't be done to Minato? Flying Thunder God is so domineering. Even if you have silent attack ability. As long as Flying Thunder God is activated the moment the attack is imminent, the chakra consumed is wasted. That's why Orochimaru hated Minato every time, but couldn't do anything to him. He knows the Flying Thunder God all too well. Also knows Minato's reaction speed too well. Unless he wanted to make a big mess and say goodbye to Konoha, he wouldn't dare to do his best. The family had a happy dinner. But Konoha has fallen out in various places. My child, what's going on? I just saw that he was still there. Where did you go in a blink of an eye? This must have been done by a ninja. My child, go to Lord Hokage and ask Lord Hokage to do justice. It must be a ninja. Definitely a ninja did it. I just watched my child disappear in front of me. God, why do you do this to me? Give me back my child, give me back my child. Quote. Hokage floor. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was at home using the telescope technique to watch some wonderful scenes, was called out by his subordinates. Master third generation. 6 children disappeared tonight. Someone saw the child being dragged and disappeared by something. No matter how hard they chased them, they couldn't catch up. From the occurrence of the child disappearance case to the present, a total of 285 children have disappeared. Among them, 179 cases were determined to be attacks by wild beasts, and the murderer has been executed. Hiss. Sarutobi Hiruzen took a deep breath. There was a look of coldness in his eyes. Looking out the window, the hand holding the pipe trembled slightly. Anger. Even if Orochimaru was his direct disciple, he couldn't hold back when things got worse and worse. In the past, 1 or 2 children disappeared every once in a while, and he could find some wild animals as scapegoats for such small cases. In addition, there is another person secretly helping Orochimaru, and the 179 cases have been fooled. And now, Orochimaru kidnapped 6 children in one night and did it in front of other parents. It is obviously not enough to use the previous method to fool. Check carefully, we must find that ninja. At this time, even if Sarutobi Hiruzen doesn't want to check, there is nothing he can do. 6 children disappeared in one night. This event is simply too big. You can't hide anything, and you can't make big things small. Konoha has countless pairs of eyes watching. Chapter 61. With an order from Sarutobi Hiruzen, all his subordinates were dispatched. Even some genin who just graduated from ninja school are out. The only ones who didn't get orders were 2 people. Kakashi. Minato. Minato is the 4th Hokage in name, and Sarutobi Hiruzen doesn't like him very much. After all, that is the person who occupies his position. Even if the current position is more comfortable than before. Sarutobi Hiruzen is not happy at all. He is a man with a strong desire to control. He changed all the textbooks in the ninja school. Konoha as the strongest Hokage is not Senju Hashirama. Becomes Sarutobi Hiruzen. Uchiha's contribution to the history of Konoha has also been erased by him a little bit. In the hands of Sarutobi Hiruzen, the will of fire has become a must-learn thing for everyone in the ninja school. The content is also formulated by Sarutobi Hiruzen. Every freshman in Konoha must know that Sarutobi Hiruzen is the strongest Hokage. The will of fire must also go deep into the hearts of every student. Even though Konoha's transformation has reached this point, he is still not satisfied. He always appears in various places in Konoha from time to time, letting everyone in Konoha know that he, Sarutobi Hiruzen, is always strong. Most unacceptable. 2 Hokages for 1 Konoha. Minato didn't care about the fact that he only came to the Hokage building to sign in every day. Up to now, he has used the excuse of the mission to not go to the Hokage building to sign in, and he is even happier in his heart. Because I don't like Minato, I don't like Kakashi either. How could 3rd Hokage not know that he went to work as a waiter in a snack bar every day? Since he has no intention of doing ninja missions, let him work as a waiter in that small shop. If he wants to fall, let him fall. Kakashi and Minato were both awakened by the ninjas coming and going, although they didn't get orders from Sarutobi Hiruzen. Gaiwu also stopped practicing. The 4 members of the family gathered in the hall, sensing the ninja flying past outside. Minato sat on the sofa and said with a depressed face, I didn't even know that Konoha still has such power. Taking over from 4th Hokage, he didn't enjoy the rights that Hokage deserved for a day. Kakashi stared at him. Teacher. What should we do? Kushina looked at Minato with a worried face. Hokage is the dream of both. However, Minato's experience as a Hokage is completely different from his dream. Although Minato didn't complain at home, Kushina understood him. Because he understands, he doesn't mention anything about his work. Minato frowned tightly. No doubt, something big happened to Konoha. As a Hokage, he is completely unaware. No one reported to him what happened. The ninjas patrolling outside are all Sarutobi Hiruzen's subordinates, and they all obey his orders. Basically, he doesn't take his orders from the 4th Hokage very seriously, unless they are particularly beneficial to them. Such a situation. Hiss. Minato sucked in a long breath. His eyes gradually widened and he looked out the window. He is responsible for Konoha's stability, and there is a voice in his heart crying out. Must go out. You must do your part for Konoha's affairs. However, there is another voice bewitching. As a 4th Hokage, I don't have the rights that Hokage should have. You have lost even your former status. What happened to Konoha has nothing to do with you. In case you were away, Ninetales hit the seal and didn't protect Kushina in the first place. Can the consequences be imagined? I am struggling. Kushina's safety prevailed. Minato said with difficulty. No. Kakashi stared at Minato with wide eyes. The teacher has changed. What I experienced during my time as Hokage changed the teacher. Kushina sighed slightly. Although she wanted Minato to investigate what happened to Konoha, Minato made a decision and just listened to him. Actually, it's all right. Gaiwu's voice broke the depression in the hall. It's just the darkness of some leaves, it doesn't matter if you know it or not. Having said that, Gaiwu stopped talking and went back to his room with a yawn. Having witnessed Konoha's darkness once, Kakashi's heart skipped a beat. The urge to stop the dark events from happening is but a split second. Gaiwu's words recalled in his mind. What can you change when you go? Thinking of this sentence, Kakashi felt uncomfortable. In such a short period of time, 2 dark events occurred. Konoha. It's really not the Konoha I know. He would not doubt Gaiwu's words. If he said it was Konoha's darkness, it must be Konoha's darkness. Can't change it. Also unable to intervene. Let this matter go. At this moment, Kakashi felt weak all over, and walked slowly back to his room. The darkness of Konoha. Minato looked at Gaiwu's room. In fact, he already had doubts in his heart. Visited Orochimaru's base many times, and in the character of the legendary Sannin, he allowed himself to capture his ninja. Every time it seems to be on the verge of explosion, but it can always suppress the impulse in my heart. One can imagine how important the experiment he was doing was to him. The more Orochimaru tolerated it, the more something went wrong for Minato. That's not Orochimaru's character. It is not something that a ninja with super strength can endure. Minato thinks that if the snake ninja he cultivated so hard is taken away for no reason. Moreover, he visits every day. This kind of thing is absolutely unbearable. For a ninja, ninja is equivalent to eyes and ears. Eyes and ears were taken away by someone, whoever would be furious. Visiting Orochimaru's base these days, he has vaguely noticed where Orochimaru came from. Although he changed his position every time, he was very careful not to be noticed by himself. But with many times, Minato can always catch some clues. Minato had an idea of where Orochimaru's secret base was. The reason why Orochimaru's experiment went on for so long without being discovered was something that Minato thought a lot about. In a word, what Gaiwu said just now. Konoha's darkness. Those in the center of power, in order to secure their position, indulged Orochimaru's experiments. There are even people who offer help to Orochimaru. It is unrealistic to want to remove the cancer of Orochimaru. There are too many conflicts of interest involved. None of the Konoha high-rises are clean. No one can say with certainty that what happened to Orochimaru has nothing to do with him. It was also because of this awareness that Minato was disheartened by the matters of Konoha's senior management. From the hard work at the beginning, to slowly salting the fish, and now I don't even go to the Hokage building. Just because I know too much, I have seen many things that were impossible to see before. Go back and rest. Minato helped Kushina back into the room. No matter how much trouble there is outside, just take care of your own home. Konoha's darkness has been around for a long time, and it cannot be changed in a short time. There is nothing you can do to change it now. The power is not in his own hands, only Kakashi and Gaiwu can mobilize, and he can't do anything he wants. Early the next morning, Minato trembled with rage when he heard those remarks from the village. 6 children disappeared overnight, and those are all human beings. It's Konoha's future. How did they do it? How can you do such a thing? Looking at the Hokage building in the distance. The place I most yearned for before seemed to exude a strong dark atmosphere at this moment. There is hell. The people who entered it were no longer human beings. Their lives are worthless. Do everything for your own benefit. Why did I yearn for a place that doesn't even respect life? Taking a deep breath, Minato suppressed the anger in his heart and walked slowly towards the house. Heartbreak. Such leaves are so heartbreaking. Arriving at the door, Minato collected himself and entered the house as if nothing had happened. I'm back, looking at Kushina with a gentle smile. Kushina understood the sadness hidden in the smile at a glance, but didn't say anything. He never brings his emotions home from work. Today it seems that this is really tolerable. Welcome back. Kushina smiled and stood up. It's not that they don't want to share Minato's unhappiness at work, but the tacit understanding between the husband and wife. He is the pillar of the family, and he can't ask about things he doesn't want to talk about. Just know it in your heart. Don't burden him, don't make him work harder. Home is a haven for him to relieve the pressure of work. Fortunately, there is a sensible Gaiwu in the family now, and he can share Minato's housework. I can't do anything with my big belly. Minato said softly. Let's talk. We haven't visited Gaiwu's shop yet, let's go and have a look today. Kushina smiled and said, I'm all at your disposal. The two simply packed up and went out together. Because of what happened last night, there are not so many people walking on the street. Especially children. Children have been missing all along, and adults are no longer afraid to take their children to the streets. The impact of the Third World War has not completely receded, and this kind of thing happened again. The whole Konoha has become the panic-stricken time during World War III. Minato and Kushina didn't walk too fast either because they came out to relax. Things in the village are not their business, and Kushina also deliberately ignored the scene in the village. Hang out and chat with Minato, walk all the way, chat all the way, try not to let Minato think about those things in the village. Anyway, he is also Hokage now, and it is impossible to completely turn a blind eye to what is going on in the village. I can only find a way to divert his attention and let him not think about those things. For the current Kushina, dreams are not important anymore. Shisui was not the only one affected by what happened to Minato, and she also felt very uncomfortable. Now as long as the family is happy, it will be fine. Leave Konoha to Sarutobi Hiruzen, let him handle it. After walking not far, the two met an acquaintance who was holding a child. Kushina took a look and trotted to the man. Makoto-san. Uchiha Makoto looked at Kushina, saw the dodge in her eyes, and smiled. Kushina. Kushina looked curiously at the little boy with black hair in his arms. The chubby appearance immediately flooded Kushina with maternal love. Stretch out your hand to tease the child, it's so cute. Makoto glanced at the passers-by on both sides, and saw Minato standing in the distance, leaning over to Kushina. You look cute now, but you won't feel cute when your own child is born. Kushina asked curiously, why? Uchiha Makoto said softly, my Sasuke is not very naughty, he only wakes up 3 times a night. You're home. Everyone in the same class knows Kushina's character. I have been naughty since I was a child. But she also met the nemesis in her life. Walking with Minato, her character has converged a lot. But it doesn't mean she's completely modified. Kushina glared at Makoto with a frown, her fists tensed with veins. Makoto-san, are you saying that Naruto will completely inherit my personality? Makoto hastily hugged Sasuke and walked away, cold sweat streaming down his forehead. I didn't say it. I didn't say anything. Uchiha Makoto ran and Kushina turned the target on Minato. I think Naruto will inherit your character. What do you think? The last word has a long ending, and the meaning of threat is self-evident. Minato looked at Kushina in embarrassment, holding the back of his head with his right hand. That must be inherited from my character. I added another sentence in my heart, even if I inherit my character, it's useless. With a mother like you, the children brought out must be very naughty. Moreover, your Vortex family's genes are stronger than mine. From now on, I know that Naruto is definitely not a well-behaved and obedient boy. Most likely will inherit Kushina's. When Minato said that, Kushina immediately became happy. Although she herself knows that she has a bad personality. Jumping and running towards Gaiwu's shop. Happy. Minato followed Kushina step by step, and wanted to say something. Naruto, in your belly would be uncomfortable if you jumped like this. However, the words came to my lips but I couldn't get them out. It is better not to provoke Kushina at this time. What happened last night also had an impact on Gaiwu's shop. There is not such a long queue anymore, but the store is full of people inside and outside the store. As ninjas, they are not afraid of those inexplicable things. When Minato arrived, many people stood up. Master 4th generation. Master 4th generation. You also come to eat the snacks here, the taste here is very good. Master 4th generation. I heard that little boss Gaiwu lives in your home. We are very envious of your good fortune. Master 4th generation. I'm really envious of your good food. Someday I will go to your house for dinner. That's right, we really want to taste Gaiwu's handicraft. Quote. In any case, Minato is the 4th Hokage on the bright side, and his strength has also been recognized by everyone. There is still some respect that should be given. In addition, everyone automatically ignored the affairs of the village. He took the position of Hokage but did not actually take power. He is the first person in the history of Konoha. They are all people who have experienced 3 wars, and everyone knows Minato's ability. No one is going to rub salt in Minato's wounds at this time. Minato smiled and said, okay. You all come someday, and Gaiwu and I will prepare a big feast for you. I added a sentence in my heart. The main course of the banquet is ninja snake. Orochimaru's ninja snake. It is delicious, and it can also improve the strength of the good stuff. That's great. Let's make an appointment to go to your house in a few days. Master 4th generation invited me to your house as a guest. I will definitely go, as long as I don't think I bring too many people. Master 4th generation, you are too generous. The joint cooperation between you and the little boss Gaiwu will surely make a sumptuous feast that we have never seen before. Quote. Hearing the sound outside, Gaiwu put down what he was doing and walked out. With a bit of complaint, he said, my store has been open for almost 2 months, and this is your first time here. Minato was instantly embarrassed. Too much focus on Kushina, put the kids' affairs aside. Aren't I here, little boss Gaiwu? Do you need a waiter? Gaiwu smiled and said, yes. I am honored that 4th Hokage will serve me as a waiter. Minato was also polite, and walked behind the bar with Kushina. Seeing that there was still a calamus hidden inside, a smile immediately climbed onto his face. Yo, little boss Gaiwu, that's good, there's a little beauty hidden in the store. Calamus quickly stood up, and said with a flustered face, Just want to help Mr. Gaiwu. Supporting Kushina to sit behind the bar, Minato smiled softly, thank you for your willingness to help Gaiwu. The kitchen at the back is only big enough for Gaiwu to move around by himself, and Minato can't help when he goes in. And Shin worked as a waiter for Gaiwu outside. And Gaiwu in the kitchen was very happy. Fourth Hokage, be yourself a waiter. The legendary Yellow Flash, the fastest man the ninja world has ever seen. Work as a server in your own shop. Maid, just thinking about it makes me excited. When I get older in the future, should I expand the store? And let Namikaze Minato deliver food to himself. With his Flying Thunder God technique, once the order arrives, he can make it by himself and deliver it immediately. No timeout due to road conditions. Wow, the more I think about it, the more excited I get. Gaiwu felt that there was a lot to be done in this matter. But that depends on what Minato means. If he really fooled him, the family opened a small shop in Konoha, and didn't care about anything else. What a wonderful life that was. It's a very good thing. Anyway, Minato is already disheartened towards Konoha, and if he fools around a few more words, it is not impossible to achieve it. Yoshi. That's it. Minato delivers food, order instantly. The slogan came out in an instant. It is not enough to have Minato alone, but also to fool a Yamanaka family. Only their way of communication can easily connect everyone in Konoha. The more he thought about it, the more excited Gaiwu became, and the speed of tossing snacks became faster. After a busy day, all the customers left, leaving only the 4 members of the family in the shop. The Iris chick is also given back to Ichiraku. After tidying up the things in the store, Gaiwu made some snacks casually, and the family sat together. Minato-san, I have an idea. As soon as Gaiwu spoke, everyone became serious. Minato looked at Gaiwu seriously. Gaiwu, if you have anything to say, just say it, we will fully support you. Gaiwu said softly, when I am older and can make more things every day, please come to the store and help me. Minato was stunned. It seems that this matter is not easy to refuse. Kakashi looked at Minato expectantly. If the business in the store can get the support of the teacher, he will also come to work in the store. That would be great. Okay. Without waiting for Minato to answer, Kushina decided for him. She has completely let go of her previous dream because of what happened to Minato. Coupled with the fact that she will soon be a mother, family stability is more important to her than anything else. Instead of letting Minato do those very dangerous tasks, it is better for the family to open a small shop happily. With the former 4th Hokage as the facade, the business will definitely get better and better. If Konoha really can't accommodate the family, it's not impossible to open a store elsewhere. The most important thing is that the family is happy. Minato smiled slightly and said softly, that depends on how big you can make the store. I don't care about small shops. Minato. Kushina looked at him with a little displeasure. How could Gaiwu not understand Minato's thoughts? He was encouraging himself. Minato is a responsible man, he is responsible for everything in the family. If he doesn't become Hokage, it means he won't take on Konoha's task. Kakashi will not pick up the quest again. The family's expenses are all in their own small shop. Although there will be pressure, Gaiwu thinks that is not a problem. In this short period of 2 months, the money earned by this small shop can at least match the income of Minato's half-year mission. That is still not willing to toss. If you put all your heart into the small shop, not to mention the expenses of the family, everything is not a problem. Thumbs up. Smile with confidence. Minato understood in seconds, shook his head lightly and said, then. I will fully support you. Kushina looked at the two of them, and quickly understood the meaning of Minato's words. Gaiwu, I never thought that you would become the pillar of the whole family. In this case, won't you work too hard, let Minato learn how to make snacks with you. Together, the two of you will surely reach a level that no one else can imagine. Minato and Kushina support themselves like this, it is not good for Gaiwu to hide everything from them. Concentrating on it. Some things are not yet fully explained. When the time is right, I will tell you all about me. The way the snacks are cooked, and the way the dishes are prepared, is no secret. The biggest secret is my pair of 9-hook Jade Rinnegan. It's not time to tell Minato and Kushina about this. Minato will naturally support him with all his strength, but he is Hokage after all, and he is also a man with a strong sense of responsibility. It is impossible to let go of everything about Konoha just because of the current situation. Minato and Kushina smiled knowingly. Neither is stupid. Gaiwu can make such snacks and delicacies at such a young age. It is impossible to say that there is no secret in him. But the two of them didn't ask Gaiwu what he meant by the secret. The family lives happily, and there is no need to freeze the relationship because of some things that Gaiwu is unwilling to say. When he can speak, Gaiwu will naturally speak his mind. Just now he expressed his attitude that what is hidden now will be revealed when the time is right. As predicted, the next day Minato went to the Hokage building to sign again. Stayed home for many days on mission grounds. It could have been salted fish forever. But what happened to Konoha is too big now. 6 young children disappeared overnight. After investigation, a total of 285 young children disappeared inexplicably. When things got to this point, it was pointless for Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo to try to hide them. All village ninjas assist in the investigation. In addition, Konoha's forces are inherently intricate. The disappearance of children is no secret. No one can hide it if they want to. The disappearances of children that Danzo and third generation tried their best to cover up are also made public. Only Danzo is the patriarch of Konoha. Hiruzen is third Hokage. What they said and the things they investigated have great credibility. No one would argue with the findings of the two of them. It's just that Konoha is in a very delicate period now. When Konoha was first established, there was Senju Hashirama, so that Konoha's other clans could only be obedient. The Senju clan is gone. Uchiha was marginalized again and suffered all kinds of unfair treatment. Everyone in other clans is in danger. Although they didn't dare to take the lead and provoke trouble, they were all secretly investigating this matter. After all, the missing children also have their clans. No one will ignore the disappearance of their own children. Hokage floor. Seeing Minato appear, Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes flickered with displeasure. Not noticed by anyone. Minato, you came just in time. I will leave it to you to investigate the missing child. It is impossible not to hand over the power to investigate this matter. The previous investigation results have been questioned, and power must be handed over in order to avoid suspicion. No one is better at reading the times than Sarutobi Hiruzen. When second Hokage went to face Jinzhou Yanzhou alone, he had already seen it. At that time, second Hokage was explaining the funeral. He was not sure that he would come back alive under the joint attack of Jinzhou and Yanzhou. So, second Hokage asked that question, and he immediately gave second Hokage the answer he wanted. The Hokage position fell on his head. At that time, Sarutobi Hiruzen was not particularly brilliant, and he was a little worse than Danzo in terms of talent. Just because he understands the current situation and knows when to do what will get the greatest benefit. At the end of the 3 wars, it was also because he understood the current situation, abdicated in time to let the virtuous, and made concessions in the war. Only then did he keep his position as third Hokage. Not only did his momentum not weaken because of the defeat in the war. Instead it went up, so much so that he was a Hokage who was actually in power, and no one said a word about him. Minato is slightly happy. This handover of rights is necessary. If Sarutobi Hiruzen does not hand over the right to investigate the case, his reputation will be greatly reduced if he is questioned. Although Minato himself knows that he only has the right to investigate, not to execute. But that doesn't matter. As long as this matter is handled well, everyone in the village can see their ability to handle affairs. Konoha's heart will gradually move closer to her side. No one wants such a thing to happen in the village. I can only do my best to find the murderer. If it can be done, I will send the murderer to you. Hearing Minato's words, Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned. Minato, what do you know? It was as if he knew who the murderer was in his words. This is not easy. Minato left smiling, a confident smile the entire time. His smile made Sarutobi Hiruzen's face turn ugly. At this time, he was still so confident, obviously he knew who the murderer was. Leaving the Hokage building, Minato's face turned livid in an instant. It was just a suspicion before, but after what happened just now, it has been completely confirmed. The murderer who caused all this is Orochimaru. Third generation has his back and he knows what Orochimaru has done. He knows everything about the child's disappearance. In order to stabilize his position, can he do this? Knowing that Orochimaru is doing some experiments that are harmful to Konoha, he completely ignores it. This is the kindness he showed outside. What a ridiculous kindness. Minato speeded up a bit. Soon arrived at the experimental base where Orochimaru was. This time, he didn't walk in as swaggeringly as before. Instead, avoid all sight of Orochimaru, and slowly enter the experimental base that Orochimaru has placed on the bright side. Thanks to the Orochimaru base that was used as a vegetable market before, Minato knew exactly where the little white snakes that Orochimaru had placed for surveillance were located. I didn't disturb any of the little white snakes, and I walked all the way without being discovered by anything. Easy walk into Orochimaru's base. Carefully search every corner of the base. Getting rid of Orochimaru requires evidence. Without absolutely strong evidence, nothing can be said about Orochimaru. That was a student of Sarutobi Hiruzen, one of the legendary Sannin. Both strength and prestige are extraordinary. There is no infallible proof. Orochimaru cannot be killed in one hit. The last person to be punished is definitely himself. Orochimaru in the other base has no idea that the experimental base he put on the surface has been invaded by Minato. This was absolutely impossible before. The little white snake is small in size and has keen perception. The little white snake, which uses thermal imaging for perception, has a very wide range of perception and is not restricted by region. Not even the walls can block the little white snake's sense of temperature. They are all sentient ninjas cultivated by Orochimaru, and their perception ability is far beyond that of ordinary snakes. Only Minato, who recently used Orochimaru's base as a vegetable market, can avoid the perception of all the little white snakes. Minato knows exactly where the little white snakes are, as well as their sensing methods and range of perception. With these materials in hand, Minato can't avoid the perception of all the little white snakes, so he can't be called fourth Hokage. Walk along the way, avoiding all the sensory systems that Orochimaru has placed in this base. It is also because Orochimaru trusts his ninja snake too much, so he focuses on the little white snake as perception, and has very little perception in other aspects. Walk carefully through several rooms. The things inside have not been touched for a long time. Minato examined carefully, his brow gradually furrowed. If the things in this base have not been touched by Orochimaru for a long time, it means that there is no information about his new base in this base. After spending more than an hour, Minato has already searched all the places in the base that can avoid the search of the little white snake. Didn't find anything useful. Right hand pinch print. The Flying Thunder God technique activates. Minato, who was transferred from the base, took out the snake bag very skillfully. Minato stared at the bag and said with a smile, "Since it's not possible to search secretly, I will force you out and find the location of your new base from you." Putting away the bag and swaggering towards Orochimaru's base. In an office in the Hokage building, Hiruzen, who was monitoring Minato with a telescope technique, frowned. What is Minato doing with this bag? The reason I didn't use the telescope technique on Minato before is because Minato can feel like he's watching him if he's focused. He is monitored in daily life. No matter what, he cannot be justified. For now, Minato needs to stand in front and control everything about Konoha himself. Now leave such an important matter in the village to him to handle. As third Hokage, who is in charge of everything in the village, it is only natural to monitor his actions remotely. It is also very necessary. Because Minato is too young. Once he does something that is not good for him, he can correct it in time. Minato is not like himself and Danzo. He doesn't have the same overall thinking as himself and Danzo, and can sacrifice some ninjas who are not particularly important for the benefit of Konoha. For Minato, let alone ninjas, everyone in the village is very important. He won't release water just because the investigation target is Orochimaru. And won't hold back from Orochimaru's strength either. Once he fights Orochimaru, it will definitely be Konoha who will be hit hard. And everything that I have worked so hard to manage. He and Orochimaru should never fight. While Sarutobi Hiruzen was using the telescope technique, Minato sensed that someone was watching him. He raised his head and looked in the direction of the Hokage building, this feeling. It's the telescope technique. You never trusted me at all. I didn't even think about making me a real Hokage. Monitoring my behavior makes me more sure of what I think. You're protecting Orochimaru. It also represents Orochimaru's behavior. You know it, and you secretly support him in the experiment. This Konoha is no longer the Konoha I know. This Hokage is not the Hokage I imagined. Ignoring life for profit. The current Konoha is rotten to the bone. Konoha. It has to change. Telescope technique can only see a person's actions, and Sarutobi Hiruzen cannot hear Minato's words. He also doesn't have a Sharingan, and can't deduce what Minato said from the shape of his mouth. I only know that he looked in the direction of the Hokage building and made a call, but I don't know what he said. In the Hokage building, Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Minato in the telescope technique with a dazed expression on his face. What did he say with such a serious expression just now? He's not far from Orochimaru's base. Those ninjas in Orochimaru should be able to hear what Minato said. Ask Orochimaru sometime later. However, unbeknownst to Sarutobi Hiruzen, Minato is well aware of Orochimaru's snake perception range. No matter how far apart the sound can be heard, pass the sound to Orochimaru, who knows better than Orochimaru. So, it is impossible for Sarutobi Hiruzen to know a single word Minato just said. Walk to the side of the base. Minato was spotted by Orochimaru in another base right away. See through the eyes of Ninja the very familiar bag in Minato's hand. Minato, it's too much of a bully. Orochimaru yelled, gnashing his teeth. Every time I see Minato grabs his carefully cultivated ninja and puts it in the bag that is too familiar. Every time I see Gaiwu peeling and cooking the ninja snake. Orochimaru's heart skipped a beat. The hatred for the two is also getting stronger. I wanted to move Gaiwu for a long time, but I couldn't find the opportunity. There are many people queuing up at the snack bar during the day, and some of them are sentient ninjas. Once you do it yourself, you can't escape their perception. And at night, thinking of this, Orochimaru wants to vomit blood. As the owner of a snack bar, as a person doing business, shouldn't you leave the store only after the customer is satisfied? Can't it close later like Ichiraku? The door closes at only 3 o'clock in the afternoon. What the hell do you mean? Do you still want to open a shop? Do you still want to do business well? If you close the door at 8 o'clock in the evening, I will have a chance to do it. The door closes at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Where do you give me a chance to do it? He clearly hated Gaiwu, but he couldn't help it. Orochimaru's hatred for Gaiwu was stronger than his hatred for Minato. I can't move Minato. That's because Minato is too strong, and I don't think I have the ability to kill him. And Gaiwu, a 5-year-old child, only has one ability to attract enemies. This ability can only be used by surprise. Knowing the function of his ability, it is too easy to kill him. And, with only a 5-year-old body, his chakra is very limited. No matter how powerful the ability is, it is useless without enough chakra. After a few tricks, Gaiwu is the lamb to be slaughtered. However, it was such a person that Orochimaru hated to the bone but could not move. Relying on Minato's ability, wantonly slaughtered his ninja snake. It's a guy who pretends to be a tiger. How can this be tolerated? This makes Orochimaru, who has crossed the ninja world for decades, harder than Hanzo, who is known as a demigod. The legendary Sannin, who has killed countless Jonins. How could it be possible? Every time I think of Gaiwu and Minato Orochimaru, I just grit my teeth with hatred. Every time I think of these two people, there will always be problems in the experiment. The appearance of Minato. There were no accidents that caused Orochimaru's experiments to go awry. The 6 children who took a big risk to kidnap last night all have problems, and none of them can be used. Orochimaru growled in a low voice when he saw that the experiment had failed. Yeba Gaiwu, Namikaze Minato, you all. After the voice fell, the figure flashed and rushed towards the base. Minato, who walked into the base, found out Orochimaru's ninja. He pinched Ninja Snake's neck very skillfully, and put it into the bag that he carried with him. Minato's movement, which was so proficient that he couldn't be more skilled, was completed in just a few seconds. He stared at Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was watching him with the telescope technique. Confused, he said, when did Orochimaru's ninjas become so easy to be discovered? And when did Minato master the way to catch these ninja snakes? What did I miss in the past few days? As far as I know, Orochimaru's ninja snake can't be found unless it has a very high perception ability. Minato didn't even use perception ninjutsu, so he found out these ninja snakes. What am I missing? After being confused, Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned again. Not good. With the importance Orochimaru attaches to his ninja, Minato can't bear to arrest his ninja like this. Is this battle between Minato and Orochimaru inevitable? This battle between them must be stopped. As soon as the voice fell, Sarutobi Hiruzen took off his Hokage windbreaker and rushed out. No Hokage exclusive Anbu. With his strength, he doesn't need to bring those people with him. It's not about fighting Orochimaru and Minato. As long as they appear, the two of them will not be able to fight. Minato happily harvested the ninjas in Orochimaru's base. These are very delicious foods. There is also a very high nutritional value, and the health of the family depends on them. Plus catching them can piss Orochimaru into doing irrational things. The most important is, at that moment, Minato felt that the telescope technique that had been watching him was gone. That means third Hokage is coming. Namikaze Minato vs Sarutobi Hiruzen, Orochimaru. Such a big show, no matter how it feels, is very interesting. Even myself, who was on the completely weak side, was excited. This big drama, whether it is a combat or a literary fight, can make people excited. Thinking of the excitement, Minato, who has always been very rigorous, couldn't help being excited and hummed a ditty of his own. The little mushroom-picking girl caught a little white snake. I didn't care about the ambiguity in the ditty at all. A big drama is waiting for itself to be staged. Unexcited is fake. Unhappiness is also fake. The person who arrived first did not exceed Minato's expectations. Orochimaru. His vertical pupils were gloomy enough to drip ice. But he just stood there like that, wanting to make a move but not daring to do it. After all, Orochimaru is also a man with a big business. It's all invisible things. Facing Minato, the intruder, he was full of hatred, but he could only look at him. You can't vent your anger. You can't take revenge. Hate can only be tolerated. Yo, Orochimaru-san. Just because he doesn't greet Minato doesn't mean Minato won't greet him. With a smile on his face, he owed as much beating as he wanted. It's like Erha who ruined the melons and fruits that you planted so hard in your back garden. The innocent and proud look on his face makes you want to tear it apart, but you find that you have no claws or fangs. Can't do it. Orochimaru was in this mood at this time. Obviously hating Minato to the bone, always thinking of tearing him to pieces. However, when I actually saw Minato, I felt that there was no way to make a move. Unable to stop him, and with nothing to do, Orochimaru could only grit his teeth and say, "Namikaze Minato. How much more do you want to catch?" Minato scratched the back of his head with an apologetic face, and said in embarrassment. Orochimaru-san, I'm really sorry. I recently brought back an orphan from the battlefield. He has a very unique talent in cooking. These little white snakes of yours have all turned into exquisite dishes in his hands. Our family is addicted to food. Regarding the task, Nima. Orochimaru exploded in rage. The veins on his forehead popped up, his fists were tightly clenched, and the wrists began to turn into snake scales. Although I knew before that Minato caught his own snake and went back to cook. But under the guise of a mission, he was allowed to go. And now say so. It is very straightforward to tell myself. That task does not exist. All I came to my base was to endure the snake. Just wanting to fill the stomachs of their family, they have to waste the ninja snakes they have cultivated so hard. Such hate. Nima, who can bear it? Turn your hands into the form of a big snake. Open your mouth wide to Minato. And Minato knew that saying that would break Orochimaru's bottom line. Those few words killed the hatred between the two. He absolutely can't stand it. While running chakra secretly, he said indifferently, that kid Gaiwu is really good. Cooking for our family, but also running such a powerful snack bar. Let's talk. He still wants me to work in his shop in the future. Orochimaru-san, do you think I should work in his shop? By the time the words fell, Rinnegan was already brewing. Wow. Orochimaru opened his mouth, and a sword protruded from his mouth. Show off. Kai Guou's show off. Show off Gaiwu's culinary skills with his ninja. This is tantamount to adding fuel to the fire. It was the first time that the Sora no Tachi, which had been hidden for an unknown number of years, was brought out against the enemy. Kill Minato's heart has been revealed. The two lion majesty formed from his hands opened their bloody mouths and bit Minato. Orochimaru. Minato. Sarutobi Hiruzen's voice came from afar. Orochimaru hastily put away the Sora no Tachi. The lion majesty transformed into his hands also disappeared in midair. The Rasengan that Minato was holding in his right hand also disappeared. The serious expression of preparing to face the enemy is also put away. He looked at Orochimaru with a smile on his face, like an old friend he hadn't seen for many years. But Orochimaru felt as uncomfortable as swallowing a fly, and forced a smile. With a half-smile, he suppressed the feeling of nausea and said, "Minato. Congratulations on becoming the 4th Hokage." Minato said with a smile on his face, "Orochimaru-san. Thank you for your blessing, I wish you a successful experiment." Nima. Orochimaru almost went berserk. "Add salt to my wounds, Minato, you are too much." But without any extreme behavior. Because Orochimaru knows very well that even if there is a fight with Minato, it can only be fought in a small area. Can't be known by anyone. Even if no one knows about the experiments he is doing, there cannot be a large-scale battle with Minato. This is the truth of being a guilty conscience. He kidnapped those 6 children last night. As the 4th Hokage, fighting with himself, even with the prestige of the past, it will inevitably arouse strange thoughts from other people in the village. Now only Minato is investigating himself, once those who have different ideas join the investigation. It is impossible to complete your own experiment. Losing the base here in Konoha, it will be very troublesome to carry out the experiment of living corpse reincarnation. Before the experiment is successful, what you are doing cannot be investigated by others. Minato also doesn't want what's going on to be known by the villagers. Being the 4th Hokage without wielding actual power is something that all the ninjas in the village know. Once there was a massive conflict with Orochimaru, one of the legendary Sannin. His prestige will be questioned even more. Without him. Orochimaru is the legendary Sannin. He has done much more work on Konoha than himself. There are so many people who love him. There must be strong enough evidence to make things public. Coincidentally, Sarutobi Hiruzen doesn't even want a large-scale conflict between the two. He didn't make any contribution to Konoha, he just hoped to maintain Konoha's stability. Once a large-scale conflict broke out between the 4th Hokage I chose and my disciples. The person who is most questioned is definitely himself. For Sarutobi Hiruzen, who has always been able to see the situation very clearly, this is absolutely not allowed to happen. Obviously he doesn't like Minato, but he has to praise him at this time. "Minato, your ability has been recognized by the whole village. I hope you will put a lot of thought into Hokage's work." "Depend on." Minato almost cursed out. "Your uncles. I want to put all my thoughts on Hokage's work. The problem is that you old fool does not delegate power." Salt was sprinkled on Orochimaru's wounds, and now Sarutobi Hiruzen is rubbing salt on his own. This world report came so fast. However, to Minato's surprise, Orochimaru spoke for him. Although Minato's strength is outstanding, his combat power is also understandable. After all, he's still young, and he can't handle many things in the village, so the teacher should pay more attention. Orochimaru is well aware of just how hostile Minato feels towards him. Now I'm tossing myself about a whole village where someone was bitten by a lion majesty. Let him spend more time on Hokage's work. From Orochimaru's point of view, he'll be spending more time on himself. At that time, he will not only torment himself in the name of this task. A series of tasks aimed at oneself were released. With Minato's IQ, he can also conduct various side-by-side investigations through his understanding of ninja abilities. At that time, I will be finished. What Isshin wants to hide is impossible to hide. It would be different if Sarutobi Hiruzen was in power, they used each other, tacitly understood, no one said anything. Minato is grateful to Mullen. Almost let go of those ninjas in the bag. If it's not a matter of position, you must sincerely shout out to Orochimaru. Orochimaru said what he had always kept in his heart. Being a 4th Hokage has no power at all. Isn't it because Sarutobi Hiruzen used such an excuse that people all over the world know? But the question is who can tell? Who dares to say that fact in front of Sarutobi Hiruzen? Orochimaru was the first, and the only one. Sincerely. Good brother. Said all the pain in my heart. You've slapped Sarutobi Hiruzen's old face with 32 slaps. I am so happy. Sarutobi Hiruzen is stunned. He has lost his alignment. Obviously, I came to hate Minato and help Orochimaru. What does it mean that he got pissed off by Orochimaru? We are in the same camp. What's the matter with you? Don't you know I'm here to help you? What do you mean by scolding me? Let's talk about Minato together, which is the correct way to open it. Don't be mistaken, is the relationship between the enemy and us good? Could it be that he met the legendary pig teammate? Although I don't know why Orochimaru helped himself against Sarutobi Hiruzen, Minato would not let go of this opportunity. Rare, with a helper like Orochimaru to fight against Sarutobi Hiruzen, is it worthwhile for Orochimaru's painstaking efforts not to seize the opportunity? Full of energy, full of slanderous words, Minato said bluntly. That's right, the third generation has done a lot for Konoha, so he should work harder. Me, it's enough to stand behind Lord Third Generation and wave the flag for you. You are old and strong, your attack is stronger than that of the first generation, and your ability is stronger than that of the second generation. You are the strongest Hokage that deserves it. Scolding you for meddling in front of your proud disciple. I just ask you if you are stingy or not. Use your words to revise the textbook to scold you. Just ask if you are happy. Pulling out a single hair from the first generation and second generation can crush your third generation to death. How do you feel when you hear such words? Do you have any ideas about finding a crack in the ground? Wow, the breath I was holding in my heart finally came out today. Pores all over the body open. Is it a cool word that can describe the current feeling? This time it was Orochimaru's turn to be confused. What's the situation? This is it. Minato didn't hate himself, but Sarutobi Hiruzen. Although he doesn't know the reason, Orochimaru likes it in every way. Good thing. This is a good thing. Just to get Minato's attention away. Just let him stop thinking about himself. While he was relieved, he said with a smile on his face. Teacher, you have cultivated disciples like me, Tsunade and Jiraiya, and your abilities are naturally stronger than second Hokage. Konoha is stronger than before in your hands, and the credit must be higher than that of first Hokage. Fourth generation is right, you should pay more attention to Konoha. Sarutobi Hiruzen felt a sweetness in his throat, and almost spurted out a mouthful of old blood. Nima, what kind of pig teammate labor and capital met? If he had known that something like today would happen, he should have killed Orochimaru in the first place. He uses the legendary Sannin to say that his abilities are stronger than second generation. A simpler way to understand it is that the disciples brought out by myself, Danzo and second generation are far worse than the legendary Sannin. This is in front of the teacher, calling his teacher a good-for-nothing. I even scolded myself as a teacher. Orochimaru scolded everyone below second Hokage in one breath. Nima, what kind of disciple did I teach myself? How could he be so stupid? Now it is right to stand with me and hate Minato. How did it become that the two enemies stood together to beat themselves up? I can't understand it at all. Minato, who is very cool, will not let go of this opportunity to beat the dog in the water. It is the best result to beat Sarutobi Hiruzen to shame once and never show face in front of him again. Master Third Generation, please take full responsibility for the affairs of the village. While I'm shouting for you, just toss about some meaningless things. For example, grab some wild game to satisfy our family's appetite. Sarutobi Hiruzen and Orochimaru frowned at the same time. Minato is firing on all cylinders, and he got both of them right. Orochimaru and Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at each other, feeling inexplicably sympathetic to each other. This feeling of sympathy is the first time that the master and apprentice have experienced in so many years. There will never be such a thing again. Sarutobi Hiruzen immediately became full of energy. I thought to myself, Minato, you're getting carried away. I joined forces with Orochimaru, you are definitely not our opponent. This time, let you never have a future. Glancing at Orochimaru, after thinking for a while, Sarutobi Hiruzen said in a deep voice. Minato, you are still young, you shouldn't have to bear too much with the things in the village. I'm already a half-buried person, and I just want to make use of the residual heat at the last moment, because the village will do its last bit of effort. Kushina is going to have a baby soon, you husband and father should work harder for them. Although wild game can nourish the body, it should not be excessive. Moreover, these are the ninja snakes that Orochimaru cultivated hard, and they are all the painstaking efforts of others. You should apologize to Orochimaru. That's right, there are many wild snakes outside the village. If you want to replenish Kushina and her family, there are plenty of them outside. Minato frowned. Although Sarutobi Hiruzen's words didn't imply anything, as a wise man, Minato had his own way of thinking. He knows 90% of the village, and has conducted a general investigation. No trace of Orochimaru has ever been found. Sarutobi Hiruzen gave himself a new way of thinking. Orochimaru's experimental base is somewhere outside the village. If you connect the whole sentence of Sarutobi Hiruzen, it is a place where there are many snakes. Yo West, Sarutobi Hiruzen-san, you did a great job and brought me one step closer to Orochimaru's experimental base. A stern look flashed in Orochimaru's eyes. Old man. Even if you don't know where my experimental base is hidden in the dark, you shouldn't lead Minato out of the village. And, you guys know that I like snakes, but what does it mean to tell Minato to look for snakes? Worried that Minato can't find my experimental base. Don't blame me for being 15 if you are the first grader. If you want to go all out and beat me and Minato together, then don't blame me for going all out. Angry at both ends. When I, Orochimaru, have been fooling around for so many years. Hate mode on. Hate you too, Hokage. Mr. Hiruzen, although you have cultivated 3 great disciples, none of them listen to you. I think Jiraiya is pretty good. I am much weaker than him in terms of cultivating disciples. Namikaze Minato, as the 4th Hokage, is very well behaved, obediently obeying the words of Jiraiya and you, the 3rd Hokage. It is said that Sannin is disobedient. This is Sarutobi Hiruzen's pain all the time. If he could get the support of these 3 disciples, Hokage's position would be so secure. As the only descendant of the Senju clan, Tsunade has a great influence on the village. The support of her alone is better than the support of thousands of people. But the problem is that Tsunade is completely disobedient, leaving the village and wandering around. Not to mention Jiraiya and Orochimaru. One does not know where to peep. One only knows to stay in the laboratory. None of the disciples taught by themselves are willing to support themselves. Looking at all ninja villages, you are unique. Oh Orochimaru. You want me to cry on the spot. The agreed firepower is fully fired. How about we fight against Minato together? What do you mean by firing at me again? Minato stood aside cheerfully. He was not at all unhappy when he was bullied by the 2. He has seen the current situation very clearly, and there is no ally relationship between the 3. Each fights, with full force, hit whoever you want. Good melee. The melee is the most interesting thing. At this moment, Sarutobi Hiruzen feels hurt all the time. Nima, what is the situation today? I came out specially to hate Minato. Why was Orochimaru slapped me together? It seems that my ability to teach students is really much worse than Jiraiya. How obedient Namikaze Minato he taught. It hurts too much. There is no way to beat people. When they are old, they are not as good as young people like them. Never mind. I lost face to Grandma's house today. If you continue to fight, you will be ashamed and thrown into the whole ninja world. 36 plans are the best. You are all the pillars of Konoha, and those who are in trouble will rely on you in the future. I'm old, the things that should be let go sooner or later, the future is the world of you young people. After saying that, Sarutobi Hiruzen turned and left. Minato and Orochimaru were left bewildered. What's the matter with this sudden tear-jerking topic? Talk. These 2 people at the scene will not be moved to tears by your words. Good mutual hatred mode. What the hell do you mean by leaving such a sentence and getting out? Unable to understand, Minato decided not to think about it anymore. Picking up the ninja snake in the bag, he deliberately waved it in front of Orochimaru's eyes. Orochimaru-san, do you want to come to my house tonight? The snake soup and dragon and phoenix soup made by Gaiwu are very delicious. Orochimaru's pupils shrank sharply. Your uncle. This is a treat. It's almost the same for a weasel to pay a New Year's greeting to a chicken. Invite me to your house as a guest. Do you want to make me into snake soup and dragon and phoenix soup? The sharp tongue circled around the lips, and Orochimaru said coldly, Minato. Don't be too arrogant. Eating so many snakes of mine, karma will come to you sooner or later. Minato smiled coldly and said softly, then I am looking forward to that day very much. When this battle with Orochimaru will happen, Minato knows very well. When he finds his base outside the village, that's when the feud between himself and Orochimaru ends. Legendary Sannin. Legend has it that they are exaggerated, but Minato really wants to test their strength. Arrive home. Gaiwu also came back from work and had another sumptuous snake feast. After eating, Minato signaled Kakashi to go up to the roof. The two sat on the roof looking at the night sky. Minato said softly, something happens in the village these days. I hope you will stay by Gaiwu's side, protect his safety, and make sure nothing happens to him. How much Orochimaru hated Gaiwu, Minato knew very well. Compared with hating himself, he hates Gaiwu even more. If he finds an opportunity, he will definitely attack Gaiwu as soon as possible. Kakashi was stunned for a moment, although he knew very well that Gaiwu didn't need his protection. But now is the responsibility of being a man. Gaiwu is the person he must protect. A big brother with no fighting power exposed on the surface. Kakashi stared at Minato, and said very seriously, I will definitely protect Gaiwu's safety and never let him have any accidents. Minato smiled slightly, and lightly pressed Kakashi's head. It should be my responsibility to protect this family, but unfortunately, I will have a big battle in a few days. The enemy is the strongest opponent I have encountered since I went to war. I'm not sure I can beat him either. Kakashi's expression was fixed. What kind of enemy would even Minato not be sure to defeat? How strong is his ability? I definitely can't help. Can I ask Gaiwu for help? With those strange abilities of Gaiwu, it will definitely help Minato and play a decisive role in his battle with the enemy. But the problem is that everything about Gaiwu cannot be exposed. Kakashi stared at Minato. If you can, I would like you to tell me when the battle will happen. I will protect Gaiwu and Kushina-san. Minato nodded, and said in a deep voice, up to 3 days, I will be able to find that person, and the battle will break out at that time. Outside the village, neither I nor Orochimaru had any scruples. The battlefield will definitely be far away from Konoha. Because neither of them wanted to alarm Konoha. Everyone has scruples in their hearts, and it's no good for anyone to disturb Konoha. In the room, Gaiwu slowly opened his eyes, and a cold light flashed in Jugoyu Rinnegan. In this battle between Orochimaru and Minato, it is impossible to estimate who will win. But there's one thing Minato can't be surprised about. It doesn't matter if Orochimaru lives or dies. It would be best to kill him here. It is the best time to kill him before he has made so many curse marks. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.